Shifting focus away from that, more than 4 million voters in Hong Kong will head to the polls on Sunday as the city holds its district council elections. With the ongoing anti-government protests that have dragged on for more than 5 months, political considerations may hold more weight than local agendas as voters cast their ballot on the 24th of November. The weeks ahead of the elections have been marked by fears about whether they would even go ahead in the first place. As clashes between protesters and the police became more and more violent, 2 major universities were the site of fiery sieges in the last 10 days. On the other hand, Hong Kong's residents have raised an alarm this week over fears of dioxin poisoning, said to be the effect of about 10,000 rounds of tear gas which have been fired across the financial hub in the last 5 months. The elections can be considered as a barometer to reflect the social sentiment and also whether the people support Beijing or an independent Hong Kong. The election will elect councillors for Hong Kong's 18 districts. In all, there will be 479 district councillors, of whom 452 are directly elected. The remaining seats go to the chairman of powerful rural committees. As a precautionary measure, the government will be deploying riot police at polling stations on Sunday in order to maintain order, raising concerns that their very presence could provoke scuffles. Now we're being joined by Ho Kilpatrick, special correspondent for the Washington Post, who is live with us from Hong Kong. Ryan, thank you so much for being here on WION Dispatch. Talk to us in terms of, how crucial will these elections be or not, considering the situation that Hong Kong is in today?
Yeah, as you said, the elections are being looked at as a barometer of the public sentiment right now. They're almost considered a referendum on the protest movement and the performance of the government. So we have over 450 seats open for the election, and all of these will be contested at polling stations across the city, including one I'm standing in front of right now. And so even though we'll only be electing our local councillors who deal with relatively minor livelihood issues, this is being looked at as you said, a barometer on public sentiment at large. And
it was in these elections that the activist Joshua Wong was disqualified from contesting, and there was a controversy surrounding that as well.
Yes, that's right. He was disqualified. Other pro-democracy candidates who many expected to be disqualified in this round were not. So there are still pro-democracy candidates running in virtually every constituency, including in his own, where a stand-in will be running in his place. So despite that high-profile incident, there are still so many seats where pro-democracy candidates are contesting with their pro-establishment counterparts in this election.
Right. I was asking the question, Ryan, also because, there is going to be the questions of, how legitimate are these elections in terms of the way they're conducted and how, because there is now the overhang of Beijing on everything that is going on in Hong Kong. In that sense, the results of the elections to be taken well by the people of Hong Kong, it needs to be proven that it is conducted legitimately. And already there is the talk of oppression and suppression from even contesting for it.
Yes, as you mentioned, there will be riot police deployed at every polling station on Sunday, which is a new development in Hong Kong, and it's making a lot of people very uneasy. However, protesters have been circulating a lot of material over the past few days, sort of calling on each other not to undertake any political activities on those days, not even to wear black or face masks, not to try to antagonize these police in any way, because they want these elections to go forward as smoothly as possible. After all, they are fighting for more democracy in Hong Kong. And on the day itself, there will also be a team of international observers who will be traveling around Hong Kong to make sure the elections are being held fairly. And this time around, there are almost 500,000 new registered voters as well. So it will be very interesting to see how that turns out.
Ryan Ho Kilpatrick, correspondent for the Washington Post, joining us here on WION Dispatch with that latest update from Hong Kong. Thank you, Ryan, for being with us over here.